Hey everyone, Iron Spider-Man here. Doing a little bit different video, not a comic showcase or anything. It's just my review on Spider-Man 2, the video game, from 2023, not one of the other many Spider-Man 2 video games. Um, I'm mostly going to be talking about like story and some of the gameplay stuff. This will be a spoiler-heavy review, so I think enough time has passed where, I think everyone is starting to talk about it a little bit. So this is your warning: spoilers galore through it. I did the review on the first game, which I really really liked. So I thought I would do this one. I just put these two, the game and the figure, just as something to put up maybe for the thumbnail. I don't know, but this is just something you could put on the background. You don't have to. There's nothing I'm going to be doing on camera really. But yeah, let's just get into it. So just to recap, I did do a review on the first game. I do like the first game a lot. Like a solid 9 out of 10 for me. The only things I really didn't like were not every costume that I wanted being in it, but they still had 45 or something crazy good. And I didn't like MJ or Miles in the first game. But outside of that, I didn't really have many nitpicks or problems. So going into this one, overall, I'll just start with that. I'm very mixed on this. I'll kind of walk through like the story and then like put up points where things I just want to talk about specifically. I typed out a whole review for this, like breaking down everything I want to talk about. And once it hit 4.5 pages and I tried filming it, it was over half an hour. And I don't have like a camera set up or anything like that. I'm not like a YouTube wizard with editing and such. So I got my phone, so that cuts off about half an hour. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna try to be working in here. So open up off the bat. Harry's sick and he was in the tube from the first one with the Venom symbiote. I don't really like Harry being sick. That's a dumb plot line they borrowed from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and him getting the Venom symbiote's a dumb plot line they borrowed from the Ultimate Spider-Man Disney XD show. To me, Harry has, drug problems, girlfriend problems, father problems, and he becomes the Green Goblin. I I don't need, and this is comics I'm talking, like I don't need him to have I don't need him to be Venom on top of that. I don't need him to be sick on top of that. Like, I felt like they were overcomplicating this, and they really didn't need to. I think the Harry being sick plotline is just an unnecessary thing. But it opens with that, him going in the tube. Cut to Miles. He's in class trying to write his college essay, which been there, done that. I don't like Miles Morales much as a character, um, but Insomniac Miles I think is the best version. I mean the best of a worse situation, I guess. So he's getting ready for college. Um, I really don't like Miles's hair in this game. I think it looks really dumb, and I don't see how that works with putting on a mask. But that's just me. Peter's his new teacher at Brooklyn Visions Academy, which I love when Peter's teaching. That's something from the JMS run in the early 2000s of Amazing Spider-Man. I love that. Um, but I hate how after the main mission he gets fired so quickly. Yes, I get it. Typical Spider-Man fashion. He has to go save lives, so he gets fired. Peter Parker suffers. I get that. But I really wish that would have lasted like half the game or something. I don't know. I just really like that. Opening scene with going to Sandman and fighting Sandman boss battle. Excellent. I don't have any notes on how they could have done that better. I really liked that opening boss battle. The mini Marcos, that's something borrowed from the comics too. I can't remember the particular issue. I think it's in like the 600 and teens, like 616 to 18 or something like that. I can't remember, but really good. I really liked that. So, Peter's now jobless. He goes home. He tells Mary Jane, who I still don't get. Why is she a reporter? I get she was like toying with that in the Ultimate Spider-Man later issues, but like MJ does not need to be a reporter. She does not need to be working at the Daily Bugle like Peter should be. Um, I also, oh my god, MJ's face model looks awful. I don't know what they did to her. She looked really good looking in the concept art and the promo art, and I was really excited because they were gonna have her hair down. I know that sounds dumb, but like I didn't like the ponytail look in the first game, so when they're like, "Oh, hair's gonna be down," I was like, "Okay, cool." Um, but she looks like a dude with a wig on. Honestly, I do not like it. Speaking of face models, Peter, I really love the original PS4 face model. I was really upset when the remaster updated it, and I really didn't buy their excuse of, well, it's easier for mocap. Okay, well, why was Peter the only one you did that for? Why didn't you do it for any other character in the game? So I don't really buy that excuse. I feel they at the time, because the first face model too, if you you can sort of see the similarities between him and Andrew Garfield, which I think is when they were developing the game. That's who they were using as reference. Then Tom Holland came along, so they're like, "Oh, well, we want to stay like updated and new, so here's the new face model." It's like you really didn't have to do that. I will say in this game, the Peter's face model looks better. I still don't love it, and that's all I want to say. Like people, again, it upsets me, and I don't like it. But I'm not, am I gonna send death threats to Insomniac? No. Is the game ruined for me because of Peter's face model? No. Like, I'm upset. I'll voice my opinion on it, but like, I'm still, I still play the game. I'm not. It's not gonna like ruin everything for me. It just bothers me, and I think that's okay. Like, when I see people like, "Oh, just get over it," I'm like, no, it still upsets me, and I'm allowed to not like it, but I'm gonna be reasonable about it and not. I'm not gonna make it like, oh, it's ruined the taste of bread for me. I'm not gonna be insane about it. Um, so Harry's back. He meets up with Peter and MJ. Um, Him and Peter hang out their old high school. I really love that montage. Even the flashback, it was really fun. But so Harry offers Peter a job. Peter hesitates to take this job with Harry working at the Emily May Foundation, the EMF. When he's like, "Oh, everything's just so hectic right now." I'm like, "Peter, you're behind on the mortgage. You just got fired from your teaching job. You're jobless and you need money. Why on earth would you hesitate to take a science job that you love with your best friend? I mean, if you've played the game, you've seen this facility is like state of the art. So Peter's probably making six figures, or at least damn near close, and he hesitates. And I'm willing to bet he could come and go as he wants to be Spider-Man, and Harry would be like, "Hey, just get the work done, man. I don't care." So like, I don't. I just that was weird to me. I'm like, why are you hesitating? I was like, it's a cool. And again, see, this is the problem though too. Like, I like the teaching job, but I do like this foundation kind of job because it's kind of like Horizon from the comics, so sort of. So I was like, uh, I do like this. So that's like the main thing. There, Peter's gonna work with Harry. Um, One of Peter's like main side missions is the Flame Cult with the Wraith, Yuri Watanabe from the first game. Um, they don't name him ever, but like the main cultist dude is clearly Cletus Cassidy. Um, and he ends up getting the sample of the Venom symbiote somehow, and does there will be carnage. I'm like, okay, Jesus, it didn't work in the Venom movie. It didn't work in this. I also don't really get like the flame cult thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool, bunch of assholes with pyromaniac tendencies and like just make bombs and fire and stuff. But then they had to ruin it. They're like, oh, there's a prophecy and Spider-Man's involved. I'm like, keep it simple. Just skip that. Just they like fire and they want to cause destruction. Done. Like they could have just been Craven has an agenda. His people can have like that like extra story, I guess. The flame people could have just been that, just causing destruction. I also thought it was a weird choice to make Cletus Cassidy the leader of a flame cult, which is one of the symbiote's weaknesses, but the symbiote in this game isn't weak to fire, which makes no sense. It was born in the vacuum of space, which means it wouldn't have resistance to fire or sonics. That's why it's the weaknesses in the comic. They just got rid of the fire weakness, which you find out during one of the main missions when Harry becomes Agent Venom, basically for a little bit, which... Why? I mean, Flash Thompson is Agent Venom, and it's a much more interesting story about redemption. I don't like Harry as Agent Venom or Venom period, which they basically revealed that in the one trailer. Um, so I just don't get it. I really don't see why Eddie Brock couldn't have have had the symbiote and been the main villain of the game. Because like in the first game, it was like, oh, Doc Ock was like the personal main bad guy. Martin Lee was the personal like main bad guy. We could have switched it up and just made Venom some guy, and Peter just doesn't understand. He's like, why do you hate me so much? Like it could have been that kind of story. Like it could have fell to Earth. Peter gotten it. At some point, he does the bell scene. Eddie Brock gets it, and that's it. Like they really didn't need to overcomplicate it. When the source material is good enough, I don't really see the need for changes. Just my opinion though. But so yeah, Harry and Peter are teaming up to fight Craven and just be like superheroes. Speaking of fighting, gameplay I think took a really bad hit. Um, I don't feel powerful even when I'm symbiote Peter, unless I'm in that surge mode. Which his like attacks are more aggressive. I just I felt weaker than the first game, which I'm not a game designer or anything, but like I feel like the first game should have been the template. How fast you move in the first game, how powerful your punches are, all the abilities you've had should just be what you automatically have in the second game, and then they add more on top of that. There were things that I could just naturally do in the first game that I had to like earn in this game, like swinging around a corner of a building. I'm like, he could just do that in the first game. It wasn't an ability to earn, but they made it an ability in this one for some reason. They had unlock like in the skill tree and stuff. Skill tree, way less useful, way less important to I guess build up. Fully leveled up, I don't feel that I was more powerful or anything. I don't think my attacks did anything. I feel like fully leveled up, any of the symbiote abilities or any of the iron arm abilities should just be an immediate KO. But that's not even close to. And I was only playing on amazing difficulty. Um, but it's just not. You don't feel powerful at all, at least in my opinion. Um, yeah. Again, skill tree. No, like there's barely a reason to upgrade it. You don't feel more powerful. Abilities are okay. I do like the interchangeable abilities. That was kind of neat. Suits, there's way less suits from the first game in this one. I know they said there'll probably be more in the DLC, but again, the 45 or whatever plus suits in the first game and in the Miles game, there's like 20. Again, all of those should just be immediately. I get we might have to re-earn them or use tokens to get them. Fine. But like there shouldn't be a single suit missing in this game. This game's like the double the size of the first one, gigabyte wise to download. You would think that would include all the suits. That shouldn't be. I don't know. That's just me. That shouldn't be like an issue. But okay, so back to like the main mission stuff. Harry's teaming up with Peter. He's Agent Venom. They take on Craven. Peter gets one little stab to the gut, and he's like going to die. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I've read and seen multiple things, Spider-Man and just superhero related. They don't die that easily. I don't know why Peter was just like, oh, one stab punch. You could, I guess, maybe say it was poison, but it just seemed way too quick and convenient to. So Harry gives him the symbiote. That's how Peter gets it. But now that Harry doesn't have the suit anymore, Harry's sick again, which doesn't make sense story-wise, and they literally give you an example of why that doesn't make sense story-wise later. When Peter's fighting the lizard in the game, he breaks his arm, like, severely bad, and the suit fixes it for him. But when Peter takes off the symbiote suit later in the game, his arm isn't re-broken again, so why is Harry sick again? If the symbiote can go in and modify you on a genetic level to cure you, why is that work undone when it's not on Harry? It makes no sense. He should be cured, and that should be the end of it. That's like the main setup, and that's how you get the symbiote. That's like the main thing. Miles has some side stuff. I really liked his Mysterio side quests. They're just kind of various battle arenas, and you have different objectives to meet. The first couple were cool, but then like I think I want to say there's 8 to 10 maybe. After like 4, I was like, okay, I'm bored with this. Um, and I really hated the Mysterio twist. It's like, oh, he's not evil. It's his two lady assistants that are using him, and they're doing stuff. It's like, again, just why couldn't it be, oh, Mysterio's released from prison. He has a new attraction. I'm suspicious of him. And then be like, yeah, well, guess what? You were right, because he's doing evil stuff. Like, that's okay. Like, it didn't have to be some kind of twist. MJ missions also returned for some dumb reason. They were the worst part of the first game. They were definitely more tolerable in this one, but again, I still rather would have had them taken out. And I really didn't get... There's an interview out there, I think it's with Brian Hintehar, where he goes, we could have went the easy route and taken them out, but we rose to the challenge. I go, no, that's not a challenge I wanted you to rise to. That's something I wanted you to listen to the fans about and get rid of. And he's like, I don't care if she's OP, which she is. She takes out like 20 highly skilled and trained hunters per mission with a stun gun. This 90-pound girl with a stun gun takes out these 200-pound muscle heads that are trained like Kraven. No, it's absolutely not. And again, she takes them out easier than Peter does, and Peter has superpowers. I'm sorry, Insomniac, you messed up. That was a horrible decision to include those again. She should have only been there for story. She did not need to be in the action. And like MJ can be a great character in the comics. She's definitely taken out a 357 and capped a Stalker or a Green Goblin or two. Like, she can be a tough badass, but I don't need her to be doing impossible things just for Insomniac to be like, look how great she is. It's like, I know, if she's written well, she can be great, just like any character. But like, they failed in that regard, in my opinion. Excuse me. Speaking of like other dumb missions, there's a mission where you play as Miles' love interest girlfriend, and she's deaf, and you like everything's silent, and you wander around and do stupid graffiti, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this is a Spider-Man game. I want to play as Spider-Man. I don't want to play as Spider-Man's girlfriend or deaf chick. Like, and I'm not disparaging the differently abled. I'm just saying that's not entertaining to me. That's not what I want from a Spider-Man game. I want, like, I could have played as just Peter the entire time. Miles could have just not been in this game at all, and Peter could have been the whole thing, and I would have been fine with that. I don't know. Maybe they thought it was innovative and cool. I don't know. But I thought those were kind of a waste of time. Kraven's really cool. He's scary. Kind of underutilized in my opinion, though. Like, he's the one who juices up Dr. Connors, and gets him to go on a berserk rage that you fight. And again, the lizard fight, most of the bosses in here too, you fight like multiple times. I don't know if they were like, oh, you guys thought it was too easy in the first game? Well, here's the same character 4 times in a row to fight. It's like, no. Everyone should have been once, and maybe a few of them thrown in there be twice, just to like throw us off. I don't want to fight Kraven 3 times. I don't want to fight Scream 4 times. I don't want to fight Lizard 3 times. Like, it's not fun to me. Like, expand your horizons a bit. Oh, a note that also was, so Kraven comes to New York. He's hunting, like, dangerous prey and whatnot. Apparently, he kills Scorpion, he kills Shocker, he kills Vulture, but we don't see the Shocker and Vulture. That's off screen. I'm like, why are we just cleaning house with Spider-Man villains? So you guys are saying you're never going to use them in another game? Like, come on. Kraven's also whole motivation is he wants a good hunt, but he apparently has cancer or something, so he wants, like, his last final big hunt to kill him. Which, why are we, oh, well, he's sick, so he's doing this. Kraven's he wants a good hunt. That's all he is. Like, why do we need to expand that? Why do we need to overcomplicate that? He's coming to New York. It's a hunting ground of shockers and scorpions and spiders and all kinds of, that just intrigued him. So he came here. So why does it have to be more than that? Plus, if he has a sickness, where's his wife with her magical herbs and potions that like naturally enhance him? that could probably cure any disease he has. Where's she at? Callisto or Calypso? Uh, so obviously as Peter with the suit, you beat Craven, and as you go to kill him, Miles stops you, and basically is like, oh, Pete, you're a good person, so Peter takes the symbiote off. I really didn't like this. I like the self-realization that Peter goes through in multiple versions of getting rid of this symbiote, where he's like, okay, this is turning me, I'm going too far, I have to get this off. I don't like that Miles has to beat him up, electrocute him, ring the bell, and like, come on, Pete, you're strong, and he just does it. Like, what? It's, to me, that's not good storytelling. Like, what did Peter have to prove then? Like, oh, well, it's fine, because Miles will just get it off of him. And it's, you know, oh, also, I forgot to mention, there's a little mini mission where, MJ's in the, like, a collapsed tunnel with Peter, and she's, like, trying to get him awake, and symbiote Peter, well, asleep Peter, who's, like, mindless with the symbiote, is, like, coming after her, and she outruns a super enhanced Spider-Man that has no problem trying to kill her. Hell no. Absolutely not. No one could do that. So, I just... So, Peter... Miles helps him get the symbiote off. Peter takes it back to Oscorp. So, also, think about this. Peter has in this little containment pod. The symbiote is not strong enough to get out of the pod, and the symbiote we have seen is super strong. Harry cracks the glass with one swing of his cane and lets the symbiote out. So Harry is stronger than the symbiote itself. No, absolutely not. Now, I know it feels like I've been kind of bashing for a while. I'll give you a positive. Again, I really hate Harry as Venom, but there's a dinner scene near the end of the game where Harry is with MJ, Peter rushes home, he's like, oh, hey, Pete, and he's, like, using the symbiote to, like, pour coffee, and MJ looks terrified. Really well done. Like, it was like, ooh, like, I kind of got goosebumps. Really well done scene. Until Harry, like, infects MJ, and she becomes Scream, who's, like, the yellow and red symbiote from the comics, which, why is the black symbiote making red and yellow symbiotes? Makes no sense. Dumb boss fight the whole time, though, because MJ's just bitching and moaning at you. Oh, you can't keep a job. You make me put my career on hold. It's like, hey, hold on. MJ, your career that Peter stopped everything to go on vacation with you to Symkaria to help you do your job, and throughout this game has told you how great of a reporter you are and how great you're going to do in your job, was holding you back? To me, that's a pretty supportive boyfriend. I don't know what part of that he was holding her back, but okay. So, obviously you beat MJ. Oh, she's able to just rip the symbiote off. No, with no problem, unlike Peter, who it was quite a struggle. The whole symbiote gets infected by the Venom symbiote. There's green, there's purple, there's yellow. Again, why are they all different colored? It makes no sense. And the game does not bother to explain it to you. Like, I get it. I love the Donny Cates Venom run, too. It's a great read, but they introduced the spiral, like, on the meteor that Venom came from, and Venom has wings, and it's like, guys, I get it. Donny Cates did a great job, but there was all these big connections, and there's no explanation for it. We don't see Null, but, like, it feels like almost like, well, you guys read this run of Venom, so, like, it's like, but not everyone has. So to defeat Venom, Mr. Negative has to cure Peter, and the little bits of symbiote that was left in Peter become anti-Venom. Why? Eddie Brock is anti-Venom, and that was a way better story in the comics. I don't know why Peter has to be anti-Venom, and he uses a suit to, like, fight and burn the Venom off of Harry, but again, it takes way too long. Like, Anti-Venom's process of curing is like 60 seconds or less, but, whatever. So, long story short, Peter and Miles fight Harry, they win. Miles brings Harry back from the dead because he's dying. Oh, and I know I don't have to talk about this, but the evolved suit for Miles, one of the worst suits I've ever seen for a Spider-Man character. Um, and that includes the Into the Spider-Verse suit. I really don't get why they need to be like, well, this is the Insomniac Miles new costume. It's got exposed hair and it's Adidas everywhere. I mean, maybe if you took out the neon blue, it would look better, but it's just like, guys, what was wrong with the red and black? Like, why are we trying to change things that don't need to be changed? Um, so Harry's sick again. He's dying. Norman asks his one scientist to make the G serum, Green Goblin serum. We all know that. Peter's going to take a step back from being Spider-Man while Miles is going to be on his own for a while, which makes no sense. And I'm seeing all these things now. Insomniac writers are like, yeah, Miles is the main Spider-Man now. It's like, so you're telling me you're going to make a Spider-Man 3 video game and Peter's not going to be in it? I call bullshit on that. So this is just a pointless move that's going to be reversed the next game. Norman visits Doc Ock in jail, who's scribbling at his notebook. Norman asks about it, and he says it's the final chapter. I have a theory, and I hope this is right. I hope this is the way that Doc Ock is going to swap Peter's brain and become Superior Spider-Man in the third game, and then Norman can become the Green Goblin, and that way we have that rivalry from the first game. It's Doc versus Norman, but it's Spider-Man and Green Goblin, and they can finally end their feud from the first game. Just prediction. We'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I know I kind of rushed through a few things, but gameplay took a hit, suits took a hit, story took a hit. And you could just tell, like, there are quite a few bugs in this too. And I'm like, guys, you had 5 years to make this, but it felt like it was rushed. And I don't see why. I don't 5 years. You can't make a Spider-Man game in 5 years has less problems and a better story and doesn't seem half-baked. I don't know. Again, I'm not a game designer, but that just seems odd to me because the first game, again, I thought I didn't experience any bugs with the first game. Story was great, minus like a few nitpicks here and there. So I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm very mixed on this game. I didn't love it. I think Insomniac really need to take a step back and figure out what they're doing and not worry about putting in, woke crap or, oh, well, we need to make Miles super cool in the main Spider-Man. It's like, why not just tell a good Peter Parker story? Like, I don't see the problem. I don't see why everything has to be an agenda or, oh, well, we need to show the history of Brooklyn's music. I'm sorry, I thought this was a Spider-Man game where I could fight criminals and villains and do cool things and have a fun time. I'm not here for a history lesson. So, I don't know. Make your own opinion. I'm not saying don't buy the game. If you like Spider-Man, you want to play a game, buy it. See what you think. Make your own opinion. If you guys have any comments, you want to talk about something, maybe you want me to elaborate on something more, or maybe you want to be like, hey, I think you missed the mark on this. Please let me know. Let's discuss in the comments. I have no problem talking back and forth as long as it's constructive. Obviously I'm not going to be like, well, this is dumb, or how do you not like it? It's great. Okay, tell me why. Give me examples. Prove it to me. Let's have a debate. Let's discuss. But, yeah, that's it for now. I'm not sure when my next video will be coming, but stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.